Japan's new Prime Minister unveils her cabinet following her parliament victory as she faces an uphill battle to unite her party and tackle the most pressing economic problems. And more on Ms Takaichi's parliamentary win and her cabinet lineup. We're joined by Michael Cucek. He's Assistant Professor of Asian Studies at Temple University. Thanks for joining us, Professor. Now, whoever Ms Takaichi picks, and we have the names for her cabinet, there is much a need to assemble competence as the need to solidify any support that she might need in Parliament.
Well, she certainly needs competence, and every prime minister does. But in her case, she has a special need to unify her party, which is a minority in the House of Representatives. So she needs absolute unity in terms of her party, and also the ability to appeal to the sense of overall capacity to get down to work. So we're going to see, we have seen some real choices that are made on behalf of simply PR value, making it look as though this is going to be a cabinet of really, really powerful individuals.
All right. In terms of this PR value, which names would you identify that are more suggestive of the need to appeal to this PR value?
Well, picking one of her main rival, Koizumi Shinjiro, to be Minister of Defense. Yes, he does have a major U.S. naval base and a MSDF base in his district, so he's a natural for the position. But nevertheless, it shows that she's giving to someone who is very well known internationally and very prominent, a really important post. But perhaps more toward the domestic side is the appointment of Katayama Satsuki, a former Ministry of Finance official, to be head of the Ministry of Finance, the first woman to head the Ministry of Finance ever. She's a known, well-known commentator on fiscal and monetary matters. She's an expert and well recognized throughout the business community and the international community. So it's a really she's a really strong pick.
All right, and Prime Minister Takaichi will need that assistance on certainly fiscal spending and monetary easing, given that a vital coalition partner now, that's the JIP or Isshin no Kai, that party is not known for being very easy on fiscal spending.
Oh, it's known as being tight-fisted. It is known as being the kind of party that thinks the country should be run like a business, and when you need to cut spending, you need to control the size of the government, and that's going to run direct counter to the tradition that Takaichi represents, which is the Abenomics, generous fiscal policy, loose monetary policy kind of economic thinking. The coalition agreement that the two sides have worked out does not patch over that big gap between their basic philosophies.
All right, so where they might agree might be perhaps on security, military, defense, but they will not agree on, it would be on domestic policy, on the economy. So where is their vested interest that is going to be keeping both the Isshin no Kai and the LDP, at least for the moment, glued together on this alliance?
I hate to say it, but it's desperation on both their parts. The LDP has never really been a minority party. It's had to live with this minority status for a year now. It is still thinks itself as the dominant majority party of the country, but it doesn't know how to get back into that position. At the same time, the JIP has done very poorly in the last two national elections, and it is losing steam quite rapidly. And the two sides look at each other and they see each other as friends of convenience, allies in a time of opportunity, and they're taking that opportunity.
This 11th hour deal between these two parties that see a need to be allied, at least in their interest for now, even so, Ms Takaichi only got 4 votes past the majority that she required to become Prime Minister, and that's just for this first vote. Where do you see her support in terms of developing and then passing much-needed moves in legislation?
The formal coalition alliance that exists does not even have that 233 votes that it needs to pass legislation definitively in the House of Representatives. So they're going to be doing what Prime Minister Ishiba, who just walked out today, was doing all of last year, which is making for every single piece of legislation some kind of deal with one of the opposition parties to try to get over that 233 vote barrier. Now, they're not far. They have 231 votes, and it's possible that they'll be able just to eke through, as they did today, by getting independents, a very small number of whom are in the House of Reps, to get together so that there is enough for a 233, 234 majority. But most likely they'll want to pass things with a greater solidity, and that means deals with opposition parties.
The concern for Ms Takaichi will be making sure there is no 6th Prime Minister in 5 years. Thanks for that. Michael Cucek is Assistant Professor of Asian Studies at Temple University.